be seated. Roll call of members, please.
Mr. Jeter, District 1.
Here.
Mr. Tipton, District 2.
Here.
Mr. Herron, District 3. Mr. Bricky, District 4.
Here.
Mr. Mann, District 5.
Here.
Ms. Hood, District 6.
Here.
Ms. Addington at large.
Here.
All right. We do have a quorum. Next item is to approve the agenda. I think we need to amend it. Ms. Starnes.
We need to remove item 10, the Scott County 4-H trip, and add in that place, in number 10, the VJCCCA resolution. And those are the only changes I have.
Okay. Need to approve the agenda as amended. Do we have a motion to do that?
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Jeter made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Jeter, second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item is approve the minutes from August 2nd, 2023. Had a chance to look at it. Hope you have. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes as presented to you?
So move.
Mr. Jeter made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Tipton, second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And I'll abstain.
Okay. Mr. Jeter, abstain. Next item is the citizen expression period. I'll read this short statement and we'll get right into that. The citizen expression period is upon the meeting when anyone who wishes to address the board or staff may do so. If you wish to speak, please come to the podium and state your name, where you're from in the county, and or what organization you represent. The board may or may not respond to anything you say, but we'll take everything you say into account when making future decisions. Please keep your comments concise and business-like. If no one has signed up to speak, we have no particular order. We just ask that you take turns and speak your business. Any action will be considered after we close citizen expression. So with that, before we do that, I have something I need to do. We have a plaque here for someone, Mrs. Anna Kincaid, if she will come up to the podium, please. What this is a presentation in appreciation of your 43 years of service to the citizens of Scott County as an employee on the Scott County Board of Supervisors from 1979 to 2023. A long time. I worked 44 years in coal mining. I bet you beat this by a little bit, so but you've done well. Just for a little bit. But with that, I'll present this to you. I'll present the box and I'll to you, and thank you for what you do. I guess they may want to get a picture and present this to you. So. 43 years, and thank you. God bless you. 43 years is a long time. It's we really do appreciate what you've done and the folks here in the county. All right, with that, we have one lady that signed up for citizen expression. Miss Ellen Bailey. Is she here? She's not here. Anybody else signed up, Ms. Starnes?
That's the only one that was
Okay.
signed.
With that, anyone needing to speak, you may come to the podium and do so. Good morning.
Good morning. We're back. And all I want to talk about this morning is that...
Go ahead and state your name for the records.
Oh.
We know who you are, but I want you to go ahead for the record, if you would.
Okay, I'm Peggy Tyson. I'm from Snowflake Road. And we got some grading done and some dust control from VDOT, which helped. But anybody who knows about a dirt road, anything they do is temporary. And we appreciate what VDOT done. And we just want to make sure that we keep Snowflake Road on that 6-year plan. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak? Anyone? All right, come on.
Is this-
You're on the agenda.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll get your item number 8. That's all.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, we'll get you there in a few minutes. Anyone else needing to speak or want to speak? All right, if not, we will close this expression period and go into a public hearing we have to conduct here. This next item is anything here on citizen expression. Anyone got anything that you want to add before we get into that? Okay, good. A public hearing on the possible adoption of an ordinance to amend and reenact in its entirety the Scott County Public Procurement Ordinance to reflect the law as it now reads, entitled 2.2, Chapter 43 of the Code of Virginia. So this public hearing is required to amend that to match what the state of Virginia has. With that, we will open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak? No one? Okay. Then we will close this expression period and we'll get through this quickly. On the board here, any comments? Or if not, we entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
All right, Mr. Bricky has made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Atkins second. I seen her hand go up. I heard your voice. So anyway.
It's okay.
Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Next item is Ms. Jan Mead here with Iowa's Tutors. So now if you'll come, please. All right. Don't delay you about a half a minute. So that ain't too bad.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. So I wanted to give you an update since I was here in July. You suggested I go to the Board of Education, and I did. And they declined to fund us because they said that they were funding the after-school program at the schools here in Scott County. So I'm back again. And also, since I was here, we are now a 501(c)(3). We got that accomplished soon after I left. So I have another presentation. I just want to catch you up on what's been going on since July. So at the end of the summer, we had a really great celebration. We had, I think, 11 students in the Duffield class. And so this was what the classroom looked like. We have Trip there, and Emmy, and Wheeler, who you saw before.
Last month in August, Grant O'Quinn joined us.
Oops, I'm sorry, wrong one. At the end of the term, we had story time, a bookmark making, rock painting. We had a celebration there, and parents came and joined us, and we had lunch for them. And then I want to share with you some of the feedback.
I want to read some of the parent reviews that we received. The first one says, "This program and Miss Jenny have been amazing. We are very grateful for everything." And the next one says, "The program is great. We have seen Phoebe progress a lot since the program started. She went from reading on a first grade level to a third grade level, and also reading the Bible in front of the congregation at church. I am so glad we signed her up for it. The teachers are awesome. Phoebe can't wait until Tuesday to get here. Love you all." And then the last one, "Megan has done awesome. She is talking more and interacting and learning so much more."
I think about being able to talk in front of the congregation at church. That's a pretty big deal. So we have quite a bit going on right now. We have a new tutor, Grant O'Quinn. He joined us. He's a recent graduate from UVA-Wise. He has a degree in history and a minor in education. He's now working for Shoemaker Elementary, and he's continuing to help us. But he has such a wonderful heart. The second time he worked with this little girl, he brought a gift bag for her that had food and a coloring book and crayons in it. I'm so glad he joined us. And this is awesome. We are lucky we have an artist that works with us, and she colored this. And we have a new slogan. It's called Reach Higher with Ibel's Tutors. And so we're going to get a lot of use out of that.
We have a lot going on. We added another tutor for our Duffield class, Miss Angela Ellis. She's an elementary teacher in Lee County. In October, we will be moving into our new location at 115 East Jackson Street in Gate City. So excited about that. We renewed the lease at the Pioneer Center in Duffield through December. Our classes began this week and will continue through December the 15th in both locations. A website is being created, and we have raised $2,741 from private donations.
I have a bit of sad news I just learned about today. We apparently are not going to be able to move into that location because of a zoning issue. So unless we can get that worked out, we're going to be on the hunt for another location in Gate City, which is really disappointing, but hopefully we can work that out. And so the Accelerated Learning Grant, I wanted to say something about that. It was a really good idea, but it just wasn't well executed. In a month's time, 34,000 parents applied for the grant, and they weren't happy. They were happy to have the money, but it was a mess as far as getting their invoices approved and getting connected with the tutors and that sort of thing. And they really pushed back, and the governor heard it. So in mid-July, he added another $30 million. So a total of $60 million for grant money. In my opinion, I don't think that new applications are going to be processed. I think they're going to process the ones that are pending, but I don't see new students being able to get money from that. And here's why I say that.
So where did the money go? Almost 10,000 parents received the standard $1,500 grant. 4,716 parents had received the low-income qualified grant of $3,000. Today, 18,037 standard applications are still pending, and 1,789 low-income qualified applications are still pending. A total of $28.9 million total has been distributed, and of that, $10.8 million went to parents in Northern Virginia. They received the most grant, they had the most grant recipients, 37% of total funding.
That's really a shame that more of that money didn't make its way to our region.
In order to receive the $3,000 grant, a family of 3 had to earn less than $74,580. And across the board, less than a quarter of the families who received a grant were eligible for the $3,000 amount. Most families in Scott County would have been eligible for the $3,000 grant. And I say that because during the school year 2022 to 2023, 77.33% of families who had children in Scott County schools were eligible for the free lunch program.
Okay, I want to stop right here just a second to say, I think that the Accelerated Learning Grant was a really good idea. When we first heard about it, I started advertising, and we attracted parents, and we helped them apply for it and get the funds. So we are in a pretty good position right now. We're working with, most of our students have funding from the grant. But that's not going to continue. It won't. The funding is done in December. So after that, we will have to find a way to continue. But that's where we are right now. And so we have 20 students who have enrolled in our after-school program, which has started this week and will go through December the 15th. Of those, 15 have funding. 5 of them do not. The total cost, if they meet with a child just once a week for the entire term is $375. So what I would like to ask for is $1,875 so that we can provide that for these 5 students. But there is no shortage of students who need help. And we have tutors that want to teach, or excuse me, I should say, teachers who want to tutor. And as soon as we have space in Gate City, we'll have that worked out. So all we need is the funding, and I really wish that we could find a regional funding source so that we could help the students in Scott County and in this region, because I'm sure Wise County, Lee County, all the surrounding areas need this help. If you have ever been a student or have a student in your life who struggled academically, it's a terrible feeling for them. They feel like they're not good enough, that they're never going to be able to catch up. And we've been able just 4 months to make a big difference. They're much happier and they feel like they can accomplish it. So I hope that you guys will consider funding us and help us if you think of any other ways that we can get money through grants or anything. And one more slide. I think. There you go. These are some of the kids from our summer class. So thank you so much.
These are all Scott County kids.
Yes, these are all Scott County kids. I do have some people from Kingsport who have called and wanted help, but they're paying themselves.
Okay. All right, any comments or questions from folks here on the board?
I'm just shocked that the school board didn't.
Me too.
I really am. I mean, I'm just shocked.
Mhm.
Something you said, that they said they already fund the after-school programs. 25% of our budget goes to the school system. We're funding, look what we're funding. And so I don't know, I'm shocked too that they didn't,
Yeah.
at least maybe would offer to meet us halfway or something on it, so.
You know, I think maybe they think that we're competing with an after-school program, but we are not, because we're not doing homework help. We are trying to find the learning gaps that's keeping them behind constantly. And so perhaps they didn't understand that, perhaps I didn't do a good enough job explaining it, but we are not like what they're offering after school. And we're not really competing with private tutoring companies either, because the students in our area wouldn't be able to pay for that. In one of the articles that I listed there, a tutor in Northern Virginia said her starting rate is $600. That's starting. So we are providing this for very little money. And one of the senators who was not in favor of the accelerated learning grant thought that we could do a better job if we went into the school systems and offered in-school tutoring. But the Finance Committee did a study about that and found that it would cost $268 million to do it that way. So I think that we are providing a big solution for not a lot of money.
This was funded through December, is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Have you contacted Delegate Kilgore about this need?
Yes, ma'am. I've contacted him. I've contacted Morgan Griffin. I've contacted Senator Pillion. I'm going to have a chance to sit down and talk with Delegate Kilgore and Senator Pillion. I think on the 20th of this month, they're coming to the Pioneer Center to find out what we need. So
That's good. I think, if it becomes a regional thing, then, I think Delegate Kilgore should be involved in that.
the tutor that we just added for our Duffield class is driving from Rose Hill. She's an elementary school teacher there. She said they didn't know about the program at all. I don't know how the information was delivered to the school systems, but it happened in May, and students are out for the summer. So a lot of people in our area don't know about it. I think maybe the people in Northern Virginia kind of had a heads up that this was coming. They probably are more plugged into what's going on at the state there. But it really is a shame that we didn't have more participation in this program here. And I'm glad that we have as many students as we have, that we're able to help.
Do you have any idea what kind of after-school programs the school has now?
I don't, I think it's called Century 21 or something, not Century something, but I think that it is a funded program. It's funded outside of the school board, I believe, through a grant.
Do y'all have to pay where you meet?
We do in Duffield, but it's very inexpensive. We pay $150 a month, and that includes internet and utilities.
Wow, that's great.
Yes.
Look like the school board could give you a place to meet.
I don't know. Again, I think maybe they think we're competing. We are not trying to take anything away from the schools. I think the teachers are amazing. We have the time and the resources that they don't have to be able to work with students one-on-one. And that's what makes the difference.
I think it's a good program, I do, but I'm not so sure. Like I said, the amount of money that we spend is what about, maybe not quite, but close to 25% of our total budget goes to the school system. I know they have a lot of expense like everybody else, but I was really hoping they would take this. I mean, it's about educating our kids, and that's what it's about, and that's what they're about. So, anyway, I just...
Yeah, I was disappointed too. But honestly, when I made the presentation to the school board, there weren't many members present. There was maybe 5. So, and Mr. Ferguson
Only
wasn't.
6 anyway,
Yeah, he wasn't present that time either, but I know that I met him after that, so I know he saw the presentation. But my main contact there was Jason Smith.
Jason Smith.
Yeah. He's been really helpful. In fact, he provided the data to me about the 77.33%.
It's a good program. Your all stops here. I mean, it's what y'all think. I think it's a good program, and I hate that funding. It ought to be easier to get and have to do what you're having to do to get it. But anyway, your all stops here on the board. $1875 is the amount.
Mr. Mann, it's
Yes.
worth noting that the building that they're occupying in Duffield, for $150 a month, is owned by the county.
Okay.
So we're maintaining that building.
Could we waiver that fee?
It's a separate board
Okay.
that oversees the Pioneer Center.
Could we get them to waiver the vet? That'd help some if we could get them to do that. I don't know how much that $150 a month means. Still, it's pretty cheap. I mean, it's still a good deal, but that would help some if they. Any other thoughts here? Don't leave it up to me. Y'all chime in.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest, I'm just still shocked that the school board didn't step in and help that. I mean, $1,800 seems like a small amount for them, because that's their lane, is what I feel like. I mean, I feel like if we do that, we're overstepping a boundary. Not a boundary, but we're picking up a slack where they should be stepping in.
If I could just add one comment. At the time that I spoke to the school board, it was in August, and we weren't really into our after-school program yet, and so I didn't have those numbers to present to them. I think I asked them maybe for a blanket $2,000, but
Yeah, but still, that's,
yeah.
I mean,
Okay. Any other thoughts? I can entertain a motion to pay this, and if we don't get a motion or don't get a second, whatever, it wouldn't pass. But I'll do that. If you all want to discuss more, we will. But I'll entertain a motion to do that, and if not, we'll see what happens. Do we have a motion to approve this $1,875? Well, it will, without voting, it will die for the lack of a motion or a second, so that's where it will end. And I really wish they had picked up on this. Like she said, we're treading into their territory, which should be them. And so I don't know, we could do it. It wouldn't be a big kill for us either. but I think the right thing is for them to look at this more closely and to have done something with it. At least they'd have met with us or said, meet us halfway or something. Maybe we could have done something. Anyway, it failed for lack of a motion, and that's,
Okay,
all right. Good presentation. I like what you're doing. I really do.
thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you, ma'am. Our next item is to ratify $400 from the Board Contingency Fund to Court Services Travel. Ms. Starnes, we got the information on it, if you would, talk about that.
Court Service Director had reached out to me because the state budget had not been finalized. They did not have their budget in place to be able to send one of their staff members to training in Williamsburg. So I reached out to the board. I did receive the majority that you would be willing to give them an additional $400 in their budget. So we just need to ratify that.
Okay. Need a motion on this $400 from the contingency fund. Do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion, Mr. Chair.
All right, Ms. Hood made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Tippin, second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Next item is item 10, the VGCCA. It's an acronym for Virginia Juvenile something. So anyway, Ms. Harms.
It's the Virginia Juvenile Community Crime Control Act
That's
resolution.
it.
You do have a copy in your packet, and this resolution, we did some research way back. It's been around 20 years. A similar resolution was done, but this is given, Washington County is the fiscal agent and always has been since the combining that made the Virginia Juvenile Commission. And the commission will distribute the funds, and the resolution says, now therefore be it resolved by the Appalachian Juvenile Commission will participate in the VJCCCA and accept funds appropriate for the purpose set forth in this act until it notifies the Department of Juvenile Justice in writing that it no longer wishes to participate. Washington County will combine with the counties of Smith, Lee, Scott, Wise, Buchanan, Dickinson, Tazewell, and Russell, as well as the cities of Bristol and Norton, to form one combined plan with Washington County acting as the fiscal agent. The County Administrator of Washington County is hereby authorized to execute a local combined plan on behalf of said localities. And I would just need authorization to sign this resolution to pass on to them.
And Washington County is the physical agent, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
All right, do we have a motion on this resolution to approve it? Ms. Starnes is ready. Do we have a motion? Mr. Jeter made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, Ms. Agnew, second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Next item is item 11, bookkeeping. Ms. Vickers.
Please appropriate $636,061 to radio equipment loan communication equipment replacement, 1000-9400-408-104 for Bank of America disbursement received and deposited to Treasurer's Office. Appropriate $1,300.68 to Park Golf Course merchandise for resale, 1000-71110-406099 for reimbursement, and appropriate $2,863 to Sheriff's Office repairs and maintenance of vehicles, 1000-3120-406009 for an insurance claim.
Okay. All right, on the appropriations, do we have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
All right, Mr. Bricky made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Tippin, second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
While we are in bookkeeping section, I emailed you 2 grants for consideration of approval, and they're also in your packet. They're for the Sheriff's Office. The first one is a DMV Selective Enforcement Alcohol Grant in the amount of $20,000. The match would be paid from fuel and maintenance of vehicles will go toward that match. So I would need approval to sign that grant agreement.
Okay. Need a motion to allow Ms. Starnes to sign that grant agreement. Do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
All right. Ms. Hood made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Agnew, second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
And the second one is also DMV grant, Selective Enforcement Police Traffic Services, in the amount of $12,192. And the match for that would also be expenses for fuel and maintenance of the vehicles.
Okay. All right, do we have a motion on that grant? Allow Ms. Starnes to sign. Do we have a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Tippett made a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Bricky, second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Anything else on bookkeeping?
That's all. Unless Amy has anything else.
Okay. All right, next, item 12, Tina is here on the appointments. Let's say, if you would.
You have one appointment to the Comprehensive Policy Management Team. It's a private provider, unexpired term. You have one applicant, Jessica Keith.
Do we have any nominations for this unexpired term? Do we have any motions or nominations?
I'll nominate Jessica Keith.
Okay. Any other nominations? Any motion, nomination cease, vote by acclamation. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Jeter made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Tippett, second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Tina. County Attorney items, Ms. Cagley, have anything?
I don't have anything today. Happy to answer any questions, I think. Maybe Miss Bailey. Okay.
Yeah, so you don't get her in a few minutes. So we need to- yeah.
I was gonna give her my time.
Oh, you want, okay, we can do that. Ms. Bailey is here considering a tree on her property. You want to come to the podium, please? On the tree issue you all have? How you today?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Everyone. I live at 134 Elliott Street.
What's the name of the street?
Elliott Street.
Elliott, okay, I got you.
Some people call it Elliott Drive. 144 Elliott Drive. And what's going on is there's a tree in front of my house. And it is an old tree, tall tree. And it's very thick and it's dying. It's almost dead actually. And it's falling. Part of it's tipped over and fallen. And there are power lines above it. And the tree, I have pictures of it in my cell phone. You see the tree.
Is that it there, I think?
Yes.
Okay.
And at any time, it can, a strong wind, a rain, a storm, has already knocked it down already. I have other pictures in my cell phone where it's fallen down on the sides. And what can happen is the tree can enter into the power lines and electrocute anyone in its area. There are children that play around this tree in the area. They're not supposed to, but you know how children are. They like to play.
Yeah.
If one of those tree limbs or that tree falls in the power line and falls on those children, they could be electrocuted. The tree could fall on any home, my home or the neighbor's homes, and electrocute us in our home. So it is anyone in the street or in their following a car and electrocuting the car. It's a very dangerous tree. So Appalachian Power has come out and they have looked at the tree and designated it as a tree that needs to be cut down. And I can't pronounce this too well. Asplanda? If I pronounced it right. Tree
That's it.
experts.
You're pretty good. I can't pronounce it either.
I can't either, it sounded
You
good.
just have to excuse me. They've come out and they're supposed to be working with Appalachian Power. But they say that they see the tree, they see it's a danger. anywhere near soon. It might be a year, it might be 2, it might be 3 years, because they have a budget. Well, this is so dangerous. The next storm that comes through could actually just whoosh it over into the power lines, and the tree fall and electrocute the children, my house across the street, other homes on the block. And mind you, my area where I live is a mixed area. It's black and white. So it's not all black and it's not all white. So it's a mixture of us together complaining about the tree. So it's a group of people of a mixture who are complaining. So the children are white and black. They play together. We love one another. We see people and not color. And they play around the tree. They know they're not supposed to, but they like to play around the tree. And if it falls, it will electrocute one of the children. So we're very concerned about this tree. And Esponda has just totally ignored us. Just totally put it off to 1, 2, 3 years because of a budget. And I've come here today to ask. I have more pictures. And I have phone numbers of Appalachian Power, the man that's working there. One of the people that's working at Splenda. Now the supervisor refuses to give his number to anybody. They refuse to give his number, so I can't contact him. I've called several times since I've been told this. This has been the last month and a half. I've been told this, and I can't, they won't return my calls. Esplanda tree experts will not return my calls. I can't contact the supervisor who's over the whole operation, who told me about the budget. They refuse to give me his number, so I don't know how to reach out to them at this point. I called Appalachian Power, and they are very nice, but they are not giving me his number either. So at this point, I don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be 2 years, 3 years. This could fall any time, the next storm. So I'm coming respectfully asking today if you all could assist us in expressing to them how important this is, and assist us in convincing them to cut the tree now before someone dies or someone's home is demolished or destroyed because of this tree. It's a huge tree. I have more pictures, and I do have phone numbers for Appalachian Power and one of the people that works for the Esponda tree experts, but I just could not. They refused to give me the supervisor's number. They just would not give me his number. So that's the best I have.
That tree needs to come down. I can just look at it, I can tell you it does. That's a pretty big tree. It's an old tree. Could we do something, write a letter to them or from the board that they expedite this and get that done quickly? Sally, you free to chime in? You think, to write a letter from the board to get
That's your
them?
action.
Your all stops. Something needs to be done with that.
Yeah. I
So
agree.
it looks like it's on VDOT, and I wonder about the town of Gate City. Have you contacted VDOT, whose property it may be on?
Well, it belongs to, it's family property. The person that owns it across the street is my family, so we all own the properties together. I've told them that it's perfectly fine for them to, we're all in agreement for them to cut the tree. So there's no roadblocks. We're all in agreement for him to.
Well, those trees like that, especially that power line, the power company should take that tree down. They do it all the time. If it's in danger of falling and taking down those power lines. But your all stops, we can get formulate a letter from the board to expedite this as soon as they can to get this down.
I do wonder about VDOT. It's right next to the road.
It is,
so
it
would
looks
be-
like it's to be on the right of way.
But, and I have I have Powell Valley Electric.
Yeah.
They're always cutting trees, and they don't let them get on lines, and that just does not look safe.
Have you looked at it personally, Bill? Did you take these pictures?
Yes, I took these pictures.
So those power lines are in danger. If it failed, it would definitely take them out. Probably.
Yeah, it's definitely a hazard tree. A lot of dead limbs, all the limbs on it. It's a big oak tree, 30-inch plus oak tree that's dead. I'd worry more about the boughs falling off than the tree topping itself. Of course, the root system is gonna be deteriorating.
Right.
It could fall over. Has every kind of vine you can imagine on it. Poison ivy, Virginia creeper, cinnamon vine, all the way up to it, which indicates that it's rotting. The vines are eaten. So it's definitely a hazard tree.
Since you've taken that picture, it's falling down. We had a storm. Let me show you this one real quick. It's fallen, it fell down here on the side since the storm. It fell
wow.
down, just crashed part of it and it fell down.
Look at that, y'all, you can see you can see how big that limb has fell.
Yes, I took these pictures last week.
Well, let's look at some.
Oh, okay, well, no, I didn't know when you took them. I thought you took them at another date. No, this has been there for quite some time.
Okay.
Yeah.
This wasn't last week, so I got correction.
We can get our county attorney, Ms. Kegley, Ms. Starnes, to formulate a letter that we approve and get to that pretty quickly. And maybe even send the letter to VDOT too, if it's their tree. And and maybe they come to something, but.
That way they can coordinate.
Yeah.
Whoever's responsible.
Hey, I think Avery Frenchler does that for Appalachian Power. I think he goes down and checks trees
That's
and
Lance's
stuff.
husband, right?
Mhm.
Is he retired now?
No, he's still working.
Still working, okay. Yeah, well, let us see what we can do. We'll formulate something and, cause I like to see it done sooner than later. If they this can't wait 2 or 3 years or whatever it would take normally to get to it. That needs to come down now.
And thank you for correcting me. Thank you.
It's definitely a job for a professional crew.
Yeah.
Yes.
Any volunteer crew or church crew
Yeah.
shouldn't be pulling the.
Well, they probably need to do it with a cherry picker, take it down a piece at a time, you know, because you could cut that tree all at once. You have to bring it down with a cherry picker.
Do you want the numbers that I have for the people?
Yeah, sure, we can give,
Thank
yep, that's
you.
fine. We'll see what we can do. Hope that'll help you and get that done. All right, thank you, ma'am. But we'll do that. We'll get our folks here to formulate a letter, and we can, let's go ahead and vote now to approve that. So we can't take formal action on it to submit a letter. If you want to do it to the power company and VDOT, we can, and send it to both of them. But anyway, we need to entertain a motion to approve a letter to be formulated by our staff to be sent to the correct people. Do we have a motion to do that?
Is that a VDOT road through there, or is it a city, town road?
Wouldn't hurt to sit at VDOT and city.
Right.
Okay, all right.
I agree.
Send it 3 places?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
I agree.
All right. So, you made a motion, Ms. Hood made a motion, do we have a second?
I'll say it.
Mr. Bricky, second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. So we'll see what happens with that. Maybe. Our next item is item 14, claims. Ms. Starnes.
The claims are in your packet. The general fund balance after the September claims is $5,041,232.63. As you can tell by the comparison chart, we're above where we were at this time last year. For the claims that are over $5,000, that's on the back sheet, we had Creative Energy that was grant funded, $10,000. Duffield Fire and Rescue, $10,000. WM Corporate Services, that's Waste Management, $38,209.47. Baker Tilly, $11,758.75. That was for the salary study, final payment. Civic Plus, $5,552.40. And Tyler Technologies, for maintenance for the Munis software, $79,476.40. And Bank of America, the first debt service payment on the digital radio systems, $155,665.98. And total over 5,000 was $310,663. Claims for the month, early sets totaled $381,477.41. Current claims, $688,951.43. So total claims for the month that need approval, $1,070,000. $1,070,428.84. Can't talk today.
That's all right, you're good.
Waste management. Bill, are we getting a lot more waste? Is it going up or staying about the same?
It's fluctuates compared to last year. One month will be a few tons lighter or heavier. It's nothing significant one way or the other. Our bill has dropped a little bit because we're doing some direct hauling to the landfill with some of our packer trucks throughout the week.
Something I guess I can talk about here, Bill. I talked to Bill about the County Gate City, if they would direct haul at the landfill, it would be a big saving, wouldn't be that much additional to them, but it'd be a big savings to us if they would do that. So hopefully we'll work out something with them to do that, rather than haul it to the transfer station, have to handle it and haul it off. It would be a big cost savings if they would direct haul.
It would. It would save us about $11,000 on the trash that Gate City's hauling to our transfer station that we're having to pay to haul across the same road through Gate City to the landfill.
And so Bill thought, said it cost him about an extra $1,000, it'd save us $11,000. So hopefully we can get with him, Bill, and try to see if they can start doing that. And it would be a big savings to the county if they would direct haul instead of going.
We worked with Weber City and they agreed to do that with their contractor.
I'm gonna make a prediction that our trash will increase over the next few months. It's, as you know, Gate City and Weber City have come up with trash cans that are city-owned. And they will not pick up boxes. They will not pick up anything the side of the trash can. Well, last month I thought I'd check them out, so I set a box full of other boxes. It was full of the side of my trash can. They picked up the trash can and didn't pick up the box. I made 2 trips to our waste, our dumpsters the past month. So, and in Weber City, I think that there's no charge in Gate City for the first can. You pay $5 a month for the second one if you need it. Weber City, I think, is charging $15 a month. And I've heard several people say, I'll just haul my trash off. So that's just something we'll, keep an eye on.
Interesting.
I can follow up once I get the numbers from the landfill for this month and let you know if I see any increase. And like I said, it always fluctuates up and down compared to last year. If there's a significant increase, I'll let you know.
I bet you're right, Michael.
The cans are not all out yet. I think the city parking lot's still full of them down here. I just went, they brought mine when they came to get the trash one time, but they're not all out yet. And I think when they do get out, we're gonna have another problem.
All right. Any other discussion before we make
Is that
a motion to?
Is that something you can take the trash service or not?
No, you have to take it.
You have to take it?
Yeah, you have to take it. You pay for it monthly through your water and sewer and your trash.
What about Weber City?
Weber City, I'm not sure. I do know, I think they're paying $15, aren't they, Sally? $15 a month.
It is electric. If you sign up for it, you pay for it. If you don't want it, you don't have to sign up.
In both places?
No, only in Weber City.
Only in Weber City?
And it is not on their water bill, because they have Scott County PSA. Theirs is direct bill.
Any other discussion before we entertain a motion to pay the bill? If not, need a motion to pay this $1,070,428.84. Do we have a motion to do that?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
All right, Mr. Tipton made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Your second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Miscellaneous. Do you have anything?
Yes, I have just 2 things. The first one I laid with your folder this morning. The EMS agencies through the Rescue Squad Association has in the past been paying for their AED maintenance each year. This year, those have increased in cost. They are $310 each, and we have 11 of those countywide. So the total cost would be $3,410, and the Rescue Squad Association is asking that to see if the county would pay that this year. And that includes maintenance, checking each AED to make sure they're still in good operating condition, and any software updates that are needed would be included as well. And that's 3 for Duffield, 3 for Nicholsville, and 5 for Scott County Life Saving Crew.
An AED is an automatic external defibrillator, so that's what they're talking about. AED is what it is. And that would come from our contingency fund if we paid this.
You could pay it from there, yes.
Anybody's thoughts?
Ms. Stallings?
Yes.
Could you say that again? You said 3 for Duffield.
3 for Nicholsville, and 5 for Scott County.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any more comments or thoughts on this $3,410 payment to the association?
You said this is just for this year?
Yeah, for 1 year. The invoices are attached. The contract date is October 1st, 2023 to 9/30/2024. So if this was something next year's budget committee and then the full board wanted to put in the budget, we could. If it's something you want to continue to help the Rescue Squad Association with.
When it comes to the fire department rescue squad, we're gonna do what we can do, and it's a doable amount, I think, but we probably need to do this, but this time just one vote, but it's just my thoughts on it. Anybody have any thoughts before we entertain a motion? Not, we entertain a motion to table this.
If anybody ready to comment, I
Yeah.
can answer any questions for you.
Now, David Gilmer, he's the Scott County Life Saving Crew in a long time. We're putting a lot, so. Anyway.
I'll make a motion, Danny.
All right, Mr. Jeter made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Tippin, second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That would come from our contingency fund.
Yes.
And the only other thing I have, I just want to mention that the household waste disposal is going to be in the Gate City Town parking lot on Saturday, September 16th from 9 to 3. So if any of the citizens have any paint or pool chemicals or any of those type things that you normally don't take to the solid waste convenience centers, that's the day to take it to the town parking lot in Gate City, Saturday, September 16th from 9 to 3.
Okay.
If in doubt, bring it out.
Is that like pick a ticket and turn around, don't drown? All
I'm gonna
right.
write that down, Bill. If in doubt, bring it out.
Anything else, Ms. Starnes?
That's all I have.
All right. Moving right along. Next item is item 15, report from our EDA. Mr. Kilgore is here, if you would, John. How's your day up until now?
Doing well. I think you're setting a record here.
Oh, I know.
First time I've spoken this early. in a
Before
long
9:30.
time. We'll get that pulled up in just a minute. They didn't even have the TVs turned on here. Here you go.
Yeah.
Good. There you go, Mom. Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to speak, and appreciate what y'all do in helping economic development, and just kind of run through the presentation this morning. Some things that you may or may not be aware of. Of course, the new Dollar Tree Family Dollar is under construction in Duffield, and what we would help with that is they had a couple of DEQ issues, and they also had would let them know about the enterprise zone and let them know, basically who to talk to at the county offices as far as building codes. So that's some things that we do and on, besides the, just the regular economic development work. So, but they've started construction. The building is partially up, and they'll be working on the inside. Hopefully they'll get that finished before the end of the year, but I don't know their schedule. So we'll hopefully see that right beside Hardee's in Duffield. And that county didn't own that land. That was owned by Hardee's. So they worked out a deal with Hardee's on that to get that property. Riverside, we continue to work with Landstar Development on the project, and we've, of course, he's been to EDA meetings. We have another meeting scheduled with them this afternoon, and we'll be meeting at their offices and talking through some issues and on design and layout, and so that they're still working on that. The initial plan showed, of course, the housing on the rear side of the property, which is below the Teletech building in the lower parking lot. So that's what they're focusing on now, and we'll continue to work with Landstar on that piece of property. Nicholsville Farmers Market is another thing that went back and forth. Of course, we were going to work, as you're well aware of, at the county park up there, but ended up, we're working with the town of Nicholsville, and I appreciate Jeremy's help, who's not here this morning, but he was really helpful in this process. And $25,000 from the Board of Supervisors through the ARPA funds, and then $25,000 from the Virginia Department of Ag APHID grant program. They will be able to construct a facility there, which will be beside the Nicholsville Fire Department. We have signed an MOU with the town, and the town has one proposal and waiting on another one. I noticed that they had yesterday's passing through, they have stakes where they kind of marked off the facility, but they've already started marketing a farmer's market. They have one there from 2 to 7 on Saturday already. So they'll continue and maybe hope to have another evening. And this will be really great next year for the farmers. They may not get to utilize it a lot this year, but next year it'll be really good. Now, they do have a couple that are setting up Saturdays, so I encourage you to go up there Saturday and get you some flowers or whatever. There's some great stuff up there on Saturday. Devil's Bathtub Project. This was a total project on this, and the majority of the money came from Virginia Department of Energy. So it's $353,000 on this Devil's Bathtub. And the trailhead parking area, we were working with the Department of Forestry on that, and that was advertised back in July of 2022. Didn't have enough funds. However, recently Virginia Department of Energy had some additional funds on another project. They put some additional funds on this, and now we've advertised that again. We advertised it last week. That invitation to bid was issued on August 30th, and hopefully we'll get those bids in, and we'll be able to improve the parking area that is on National Forest land. It's not on Scott County land.
John, I was up there Saturday and Monday. The parking there at the county park was packed. There wasn't any place to park. They were parking everywhere. And both days, I understand so many cars. And I used to talk to people, and they, I don't know, it's just really getting more and more popular. And I asked them, would y'all recommend this? Oh, absolutely, we love it. And one guy been there for the 5th time, but I believe that county parking lot there wasn't a place to park. It people parking away from it in the grass and stuff. It was that many people there. Then I went on up, and they were lined up again, even up toward the entrance. They were along the road up to there.
So they were parked along the roads.
Well, they had no place to park. I mean, it's that busy. And the campground there above, we looked at it, and they had a couple of campers there, and there were a lot of people in tents and stuff too. So there were people utilizing that campground too that the Meads or the Whites had put in. So it's pretty popular. People are going to.
So they have been working on the Appalachian Conservation Corps. They work with national parks a lot, or national forests and national parks a lot of places, but they are working on that. This is the parking area on that top picture I was telling you. That is the parking area. That's the steps that goes up to the trail where you start the trail. If you're coming from a county parking lot, you don't take those steps. You just walk straight up the trail. But that's the first crossing, and what they did on the first crossing was just move rocks around in Stony Creek there to improve that crossing. So that's what they were doing on a lot of the crossing, is just to improve the path across the water. And then what they're doing, you can see the person on the right, they're actually built stair steps, and these stair steps are built to get around one of the crossings. So the crossings, they will decrease the crossings, and they'll cut those in half at Stony Creek. See, and Danny remembers how many crossings there are.
13.
So they'll at least be half, maybe more. So these steps will go up a mountain a little ways and then down, but there are steps on the other side too. So it's a little more difficult trail than it used to be, you know, and most people, you just walk through the water, but it's a little more difficult with steps. This was a very hazardous area here. This is closer to the Devil's Bathtub, and I walked this with Virginia Department of Energy and the National Forest people. So this rope you would actually hang on to and then kind of slide around that rock. That was a very hazardous area. So what they did there is install steps to go around that, and then you walk on top, and then this is the view from those top walkway down to the Stony Creek. So just right above that water there, you see at the bottom of that picture is the Devil's Bathtub straight through, and it's not too far from there. So that's that little waterfall right below the Devil's Bathtub. So a lot of work has been done. It's a lot of hand digging, a lot of tedious work that these Appalachian Conservation Corps is doing, and they've had a crew there, and if they're working there, they've got another 9-day period they're supposed to come in and work. They're usually camping out on the county property there, where the side of the county parking lot. Then they'll go up there and do their work, and then they'll come back, and then they'll be camping there and staying there. So they really enjoyed that. I've asked how that worked out. They appreciated us having an area, and appreciate the wireless where they could, you know, connect to the internet. And they were really pleased with, you know, what was provided. A lot of places they go to, it's not like that. Any questions on that? So we'll continue to work. Hopefully the bids will get in. We'll be able to improve the parking lot and spend the additional, what money's left on that parking area and get this project closed out. TVA Workforce Invest, this is a grant through Tennessee Valley Authority, the economic development side of that. So they provide that to us to help with the workforce, investing in workforce on the TVA side. So if you're looking at Duffield, it's really as you go by Artie's and you cross the river, it's on that side. So that's where this money has to be focused on. So we've been working with Mountain Empire Community College and trying to do, you know, make it more regional, because there's people that come to Duffield, they're working from Wise, Scott, Lee, all over the place. So make sure that we include them in this process. So we will work with them and try to find ways to spend additional money on the workforce invest. Scott County EDA, this is a Rural Business Development Grant. It used to be the Rural Enterprise Grant to the rural development. So we get money from them to actually loan out to small businesses. So 40 loans have been approved to date. That's $744,500 for small business loans. And if you look at those loans, that's attributed. You got 86 employees, 8 of those tourism related, 22 retail, and then 10 support businesses. And that includes 4 new loans approved in 2023, and a couple of those that y'all are aware of. Of course, it's the campground at close to Devil's Bathtub, and then we've got a new glamping site that's on the Punch River that they're working on now. So really interesting that made a lot of these tourism connections here, and where they're going to be staying in that glamping site overlooking the Clinch River. And of course, this is next to the Devil's Bathtub. It's a key area. So those are focused on the key assets. The Clinch is a key asset. Devil's Bathtub is a key asset. Carter Falls is a key asset. It's great to focus on those key assets in the county. So we received additional funding for this from $163,000. That goes through USDA. That makes about $363,000 that we've received from USDA for small business loans. So we've actually been replenished 2 different times. With the first $99,000 we received from USDA, and it's been replenished. So you can see that money at $363,000, it's already turned over almost twice. It's $744,000 in loans. Ribbon cuttings, had a ribbon cutting at Maple Tree Bookstore here in Gate City recently, and not had any others since the last meeting. We just try to do it between this meeting and the last meeting, our presentation. So, and then the BC to Capital grant program, they're working on that now. Small Business Development Center works with small business clients, so anybody that's interested in a small business, we refer them to the Small Business Development Center at Mount Empire Community College. Their services are free. They go through a business plan process. That business plan, then they use that. They can either, they'll go to seed capital maybe to get a grant, or they may come to the EDA for a loan. They have to work through the Small Business Development Center first. So we've had 15 Scott County business on the seed capital side receive grants in 2017 for a total of $145,000 on small businesses. And then we continue to, of course, market the county and market our assets for economic development. We've continued to work. We've got 3 active prospects right now. We've had a site visit over the summer, and we've had at least 2 or 3 interested in space. And some of the other things that we do that maybe you're not aware of is VFB needed some additional space to store some equipment. We were able to work with the Pioneer Center and to get them additional space right across the road because they need a loading dock. And we're working with Temper now because they're potentially looking at a rail site. So that's some of the additional things that we work on that you may or may not be aware of.
Wow.
Wow.
Any questions?
Anything on that property done got on that old LP property, anything, anybody looking at it or anything?
We've had a couple of people interested, and actually got working with 2 different leads, BDPs, looking at. It's an asset because we only have 2 buildings that size in the whole region. And there's not many in Southwest Virginia that size either. And the only one that's comparable to that would be the St. Paul building, and they've got 2 leads on theirs as well.
Do you think the inland port will help market that?
The inland port will help us all. It'll definitely, a lot of people don't realize that either, that Timber gets material from the port. That'll definitely help them. We have an inland port because they just drop it there and then they pick it up from there. They don't have to go pick it up and pay delivery all the way from the Virginia Beach all the way, or the port all the way to here.
What about the houses at Riverside? Do they have any time when they're gonna start building those?
I don't have a timeline. Hopefully I'll find out something today, but I don't have any timeline started. They've been working on the plan and they continue to do that, so hopefully we'll find out additional information.
What about the Teletech building you got? Anybody interested in it?
No active leads on that right now, but I mean, he's working on a plan for that too, as you well know.
Has anything happened at the Farstone there on the base?
Yeah, we've got to meet with them, and just found out just a while ago with Chairman Sig, so we'll keep doing it today, so we'll have to pick another day. We're supposed to meet with him this week.
So let me bring up one more thing, and I don't know if it's the right place or not to do it, but 3 or 4 years ago when I first came on the board, I said we don't get a whole lot from Lenawisco. And at that time, I didn't know about the advantaged sections of Scott County, where Gate City, Weber City is considered advantaged because they group us federally with the Tri-Cities. And I would say only 3/4 to 2/3 of our county is like that. The rest is considered disadvantaged. Okay, saying that, to ask you, I've been wondering, regionally, we're involved in a lot of programs. The casino, Norton on the hill there, I forget the name of it, going
Yeah,
into
Project
Norton.
Intersection.
Yes. Also, the small nuclear reactors that are coming around. They're looking at Foot Mineral. I think that would be an excellent site, and I've read up on nuclear reactors, and they are safe, and we should promote this. But what I'm wondering is about the regional projects. How do they determine how much money goes to each county that's involved? Is it by population?
We actually have a formula that was approved, I think, by y'all earlier, and we can send that out. It's the RIFA, the formula that they used. It's a percentage. And you can decide to partner on a project or decide not to partner on a project. It's up to the board individually. But I mean, Project Intersection is the initial one. But if we want to go to use the RIFA and partner with Lee County on the project, then figure out how to split those revenues. But some of the revenue has to be for that locality where it is, so they can have water for infrastructure. Or, money for infrastructure, not water, but money for infrastructure. So that's that formula, though, we can share. That's no problem at all. So it's based on that.
I wonder what the formula is based on. Is that population when it was arrived at? You're free to know.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I can't remember, though. I'll have to pull that back up, but we'll just send it out.
Yeah, I'll send it to everybody.
Yeah.
I remember the host locality gets a bigger portion.
Right, the host locality does.
Yeah,
yes.
but I don't remember exactly because that's been maybe 5 years ago.
I don't think our people really in Scott County really realize how much we get back from regional programs and investments going on. But I still do not agree with calling our area advantaged.
That's
The other counties.
The word distressed.
Distress
Distress is what it is.
is the word, yes. And all the other counties and Norton are distressed, including Wise County. But this area is not. And to compare us to the Tri-Cities, I just don't think that's correct. I don't know how it could ever be.
Well, the federal thing is what happened, is the federal's doing it. We're considered part of the Kingsport metropolitan area. I too have, on Winter Wisco board, we just come up, and they always say, well, Lee County got it, Wise County got it, City of Norton got it, Scott County didn't because of this, the way we're counted being part of Kingsport. And so, yeah, part of the county is good, part of the county is not, but they consider it as a non-distressed county.
And the chairman or the executive director of Winter Wisco has a formula for that. You can ask him about that, and he has that. I don't remember that off the top of my head, but that's taken in consideration as to what is distressed and what is not distressed. And I agree with you, Mike. I mean, it cuts us from a lot of funding.
Yeah, it does. And people need to know that we are getting a lot of money back from regional projects. But this section, this distressed area, I just don't agree with that.
Let me tell you something else happened, and John and I have talked to you about this. They had a meeting, of all places in Boston, the Department of Energy people, the Davis guy went, all this nuclear stuff, and I had a question why the county administrator from Wise County was invited. And I said, has the decision already been made in Wise County? They said, no, but I think it has. Because I said, our county administrator wasn't invited, and it was by invite only. Why did the county administrator from Wise County go get the invite and the Stars didn't? And so I questioned that, and I said, and I asked Doug Kilgore, has the decision already been made as to where this nuclear thing is going to go? And he said no. And I'm sure he told me correctly. I mean, but I think it has. I think it's higher up than him that the decision is made to go to Wise County. Why would their county administrator be invited and our county administrator was not? And so they said, when I questioned that, they said it was invited only. That's my point. Why was the Wise County administrator invited? And so I don't know. It's just maybe a pre-drunk conclusion.
We also got to look at that too. Is the other side of that is you got to look at that could be a regional project. That could be come back to the RIF fund, then it could be a shared revenue project. So I don't know how they're going to, do that.
Well, here's my take. Wise County got a $2 billion power plant. They're getting about $6 million a year in taxes from that power plant. And they've got 3 prisons, 2 colleges. We're blessed to be close to Kingsport. We really are. I mean, the number of people that lives here and works in Tennessee, we're very blessed to have them that close. But still, it's not right for them for this to keep happening. And I know it's going to be based, I think, the Department of Energy is going to say it's a coal mining site is what it's going to be. And I don't know if Duffield is ruled out or not because it's not a coal mining site. It's the old, Foot Mineral Mine. But still, that it'd be a perfect. I mean, I went underground there twice and looked at it. I'm very familiar with underground workings. I did it most of my professional life. But anyway, I hope it's not decided about where that's going to go. As far as that nuclear, people has an issue with that, but it's the same technology they use on submarines and aircraft carriers and stuff, and it's very safe. They've never had an issue that if they have, they've said on it. But it's a very, very safe way to make power. And so I'm hoping that asset will come to this county. But like you said, the revenue sharing part of it, I think that would happen. It didn't happen with the power plant in Virginia City. And that was a Wise County deal only.
And they're still distressed with all the things you named. They're distressed and we're not.
Well, getting that $30 million at Convocation Center at the college, that kind of stuff they're getting, about 35 million or something. And it's a great facility. They need that. My daughter went to school there. My granddaughter went to school there. I'm not knocking that. But it seemed like it's this thing that keeps going to them. And so where does Lee County or Scott County or these, Dixon, Russell, where do they play into this? I think Dixon County's out of the picture on this nuclear thing. But anyway, to me, are we being looked over as far as being a potential site for this? It'd be a big boost in our tax revenue to get that.
And we're kind of preaching to the choir, preaching to you and the people of Scott County. I don't know where to go with it. It's federal, and where do you go?
Yeah, and you talk about your federal. You're talking about the federal designation. That's probably through ARC. The ARC does distress, and we have been distressed. It's not that we haven't, but the last few years we've been transitional. So, do you want to be distressed or you want to be transitional? It's all funding. I mean, we could still apply for funding. That doesn't guarantee that we'll get it, but we have to have a better match. So in other words, if you're distressed, it's a 20/80 match. And if you go to transitional, it might be 30/70 or 50/50. I'm not sure what the break is, but we could still apply for the funding, but we may not get it because we're competing with distressed counties.
Yes. We
were the only county in ARC besides Washington County in Southwest that I can recall that was not distressed. Russell County was even distressed. So we distress. I mean, we've got money from ARC before. We got money for the Carter Fold back a long time ago for that. The Bill and Duffield named projects for ARC. Daniel Boone Interpretive Center. So they put money in because we have been distressed.
Good presentation.
Thank you.
Any questions for Mr. Gilroy? Thank you. Anyway, I mean, the stuff I said, just an opportunity to say what I did. I wanted to say that about this nuclear modular site. So anyway, I got my 2 cents worth in. One way or the other, got it in. All right, we're down toward the end. Comments, requests, recommendation of the board. Mr. Jeter, you have anything?
No, I'm good.
Mr. Tipton?
I'm good.
Ms. Herron's not here. Mr. Bricky?
I'm going to brag on VDOT. I'm down on them so much. This time I'm going to brag on them a little. Last time I complained to them about the Moccasin Gap and those trees down, land everywhere. The next day or two, they were down there working, and they actually cleaned the trees up. It looks a lot better. It doesn't look real good, but it looks better.
Better than it.
And Sarah Circle down in Daniel Boone, they came down with it a couple of days and cleaned out 2 or 3 culverts. And I guess we're waiting to see what it does when it rains. So I'm going to brag on VDOT a little.
Thanks, sir. Ms. Hood?
I don't have anything to add.
All right. Is that it?
I don't have anything.
All right. Just a couple of things I wanted to mention. And VDOT's been doing some stuff in Dungannon that they put a couple of drain pipes, took a tree down that was ready to fall there from Methodist Church. And they have done some things, and so they are. one thing that's happening, if you drive between Dungan and Fort Blackmore, you see they're putting I guess the power company's doing that. They're putting all the new power line stuff in, they're putting three-phase power all the way through there. And I think the move is to get the power lines close to the highway, so if you having an issue, then get to it quickly. Some places, they go through the woods and all this stuff, they can't get to them, it's hard to fix, but they're doing that, they spend a lot of money up through there putting those poles in and getting the power lines out next to the road where they can get to them, so I do commend what they're doing. And same thing, like I said, VDOT, I think they're doing good with what they do.
If I could add one more thing.
Yes, sir.
I just remembered, the one thing that I'm still pushing for, and it may take a letter from us maybe suggesting that they do that. Last fall, VDOT told me that they would paint lines down here at the intersection, going out of Gate City where you go up Food Line Hill and to Big Stone. There are no lines in that intersection, and it's hard to follow where you need to go when you're coming off the hill. I've seen people going out of Gate City and they'll go all the way over in the right-hand lane as they're going under the red light, and people are coming off the hill trying to go to Kingsport. It's really dangerous down there. And I talked to the town of Gate City, and I don't know that helped any, so eventually, if we don't get something done soon, we may try to send a letter.
All right. Hour and 25 minutes, is that a new record?
Mr. Mann, Mr. Peters' question earlier about the solid waste this month and the increase. The guy sent me the numbers down, and compared to last August, we have a decrease of 661 tons.
Wow.
Compared to last August. Now, that's equivalent about 33 packer truck loads. Give you some perspective on that. Don't know why. There's nothing that I can point at to say why that is, and it may be up next month compared to last October. So
It's been too hot for everybody to get out.
maybe weather certainly contributes to those numbers throughout the month. Anyway.
Good information, thanks. All right, nothing else, we will adjourn to October the 4th. Everybody have a good, safe week and month, and we'll see you next month. Meeting adjourned.